Okay, just real quick, I bought this Prius because my Lincoln got wrecked. It's got some issues with it, but one being the multifunction display is flaking out a little bit, and I'm having a long-term fuel trim issue. So I'm gonna redo the fuel injectors. I'm gonna clean them. So I'm starting now. I have to take the seat out to get it. You go about in the middle of where the person sits, and then just there's like a bar underneath, or whatever, not a bar but a rod. Just pull up and then it detaches. Ooh, and I've already made 21 cents without even looking further. Now I have to pry this up to access the chamber underneath. It looks like this thing's never come off. Maybe it has, but sure looks like it hasn't, because it seems to be sticking pretty good, which seems strange to me because it has 190,000 miles on it. Well, there's the connectors. I don't know which one's the fuel pump. Probably this one, but I'll disconnect them all. So far, so good. There we go. Only slight injuries. I've christened the car right here. Anyway. All right. Now I start it, and the air's on, but I'll turn it up. My display hasn't been working, it's dead now. You can see it blinking. So I can turn the temperature down. I think it's running now, so I need to run it. There it went. I ran out of gas, got the orange light. It should be, I can take the engine apart and not have gas all over. Air cleaner has to come off. And then there's two bolts back there. This part comes off with the air cleaner. The filter, I mean. And two bolts. And this clip has to come off, which just, this thing lifts up with a screwdriver and pops out. This, and this are all 10 millimeter. So, oh, and this has to be loosened, taken off. Okay, I've taken all these bolts out. Now I'm gonna disconnect the MAF sensor here, mass airflow sensor, because this wire will go with it. And then there's one more 10 millimeter back here that controls the, basically is to the band that holds this to the throttle body. So I gotta loosen that, and then I can take the whole air cleaner assembly off. Inlet or inlet. That should be it. The whole thing comes off. There's the throttle body. That's my objective right there, the fuel rail. I still got to get back in there to unhook the fuel line though. Now I'm going to disconnect all the coils and the fuel injector wires, you know, which are just pinch and pull, but they usually need the help of a screwdriver down in there. So, yep, that one. And yep, definitely gonna need a screwdriver. Anyway, I'll take these things off. I disconnected all the fuel injectors and the coils, but I can't get to the last one over here. So I have to take this relay off anyway, so two 10 millimeter bolts. Show how these fuel injector clips come off. I'm sorry, this isn't the fuel injector, this is the coil. You click down on this, and usually with both hands I'm pushing this with one hand and putting Usually I do it with my finger and I put outward pressure like this while I'm pressing that, so it's really hard to do with one hand. Well, I heard the click. Be careful not to pull on the wires. There it goes. You can kind of deal with the fuel injectors. There's a clip on this side and nothing on this side. So you just gotta push the clip in with your finger. Ideally it comes off like that, but it doesn't. So I do this and put pressure with your finger on this side, but it comes off. So I'm taking this thing off, 2 bolts, and then there's a clip right here. You pull this clip out and push this thing outward, and that's it. So here's what it looks like with this thing pulled back. I pulled it out of here. Actually, there was another clip right here that this thing is hooked to that helps. If you take that out, you can pull it further out. So now you can see there's the PCV valve, which I'm going to replace. I bought one. They're only $5. I think this one's good anyway. I can't see the fuel line yet. It's underneath these 2 tubes down there somewhere. So going for that next. The PVC hose is loose enough that I can do this by hand. I think I'm going to pinch this wire and pull it over the nub and then pull on it. That's it. There's a PCV valve. Same with this one probably, which is the breather tube for the PCV where it gets its fresh air. Pulls air into the intake rather than letting it be sucked out. Okay, I got both those out. Now I can see the fuel line. Oh no, that's, yeah. So there's a plastic cover over it, which we got to figure out how to take off. So, whoops, 19 millimeter to remove this. It's pretty tight in there, so I had to use the, I got to use the 12 point or 10 point, whatever it is, side to get any room, because there's very little swing room in here. So that's it. I'm gonna keep doing that for a while. Come back. This plastic cover down here just pulls off my hand. I've already pulled it off. So it comes out. Now you can see the thing where you squeeze it, where the yellow tab is, and you pull on it. And that's it. And I don't think I can do that until I remove these 2 bolts from the fuel rail so that I can move the fuel rail and the fuel line. It's all connected. You can't disconnect it on this end, and it threads through a hole here. This is going to see if I can take it all the way out. Actually, the fuel line above here is flexible, so I can take this out and put a rag there to catch anything if it... Well, this is tougher than I thought. I should use my right hand. That helps. Ugh, awkward. There it goes. Bunch of fuel coming out. I'm glad I put the rag there. So it's disconnected now. It was actually fairly easy once it started going. Now I'll remove the 2. These are 12 millimeter bolts that hold the fuel rail in place. Now the 2 10 millimeter nuts to remove the fuel rail, pull it all out. Actually, before I remove these bolts, I've noticed, I don't think you can see it here, but there's a bunch of liquid down there from, I tried to spray some degreaser in here before, so I need to clean that out before I pull these fuel injectors so that doesn't all go in the intake into the cylinder. Taking out the 2 bolts for the fuel rail, but there is another bolt holding this. Let's see if I can find where it is. Here it is. Holding this onto the frame here. I mean onto the engine. So I got to remove. It's a 10 millimeter bolt back here. So I got to get that out. The bracket holds the fuel line to the engine, so it doesn't vibrate or whatever. There we go. Now it's loose. Now the whole thing should From what I can see, there's all kinds of wrong things in here. I don't know, maybe not as the original. It's very dirty. I'm gonna try to keep this stuff from getting in there. Man, so I got some cleanup to do here. Yeah, I built this thing a while back. It's a power supply made out of an old PC power supply. It's got 3, 5, and 12 volts, and I'm checking that to make sure. So 3, 5, and 12. So I'm going to start with 3 on the fuel injectors and see if it clicks them. Because I built this using these kind of connectors, I can actually pull these out and use them as the leads. Whoop. Okay, here's how I'm doing this. I actually found that 6 volts is required. 3 volts doesn't seem to open it. But if I can hear it clicking, so I kick it on and off. This is an ultrasonic cleaner. I kick it off and on every once in a while. Then what I do at the end, which I've actually already done with this one, I fill this with carb cleaner. I spray it in here like that, fill it up, and then I pick it up, connect this so that it opens up, and then I blow through it, and it blows a spray pattern out, and that's how I'm cleaning them. So there's quite a bit of schmutz down in here where the seals go, so I'm cleaning it out with a pen cap before. Then I'm going to put these dowels with a seal on them in there and then clean up this whole area if I can. Okay, I got all the fuel injector ports plugged off with the seal and a wooden dowel in it, and I'm going to try and de-schmutzify this area with engine cleaner. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how much I was able to de-schmutzify it. So now I'll just take those dowels and seals out, put in new seals on the fuel injectors and lube them up with oil and put it back together. This is all, everything's the reverse of how it came apart. The old PCV next to the new PCV. I'm just going to replace it because I'm here. The old one seems to work fine, but anyway, replacing it. Okay, I got the fuel injectors in. They're spinning the way they should, you know, they move back and forth like this smoothly. All of them do, so it seems all right. I did that before I put the PCV valve on, so I'd have more room to work back here. But now I'm going to do the PCV valve. Here's the new rings and seals being lubricated in oil before I put them on the injectors. Got all the fuel line and everything all hooked back up now, and I installed the PVC pipe, so now I'm going to put this thing back with all of these hoses go. You can't mix up the hoses because they're different sizes and they're different lengths for the PVC. The crankcase ventilation system, which includes the breather tube right here and then the valve itself back there so it can circulate, relieve pressure inside the engine. I want to make sure I get this in good light. This is the gasket between the air filter box and the throttle body. And then notice it's got these ridges on it. I just cleaned it with soap and water. And in one spot, there isn't a ridge. And those all need to be lined up when it pushes up inside the air filter box. And there's grooves in the air filter box that these bumps line up with. It's pretty obvious when you pull it apart. The gap. Okay, I'm back here hooking up the 3 connectors to the gas tank again. Okay, everything's in there. Okay, everything's all back together. I'm very happy. No bolts left. This is where I store all my bolts as I'm taking it apart. And it's a bolt tray and tool tray. Anyway, everything's all tightened up. I guess this will be a moment of truth or falsehood, whatever. I guess it'll be true whichever way it works. Keys in, brake on, power. I hear the fuel pump going. I got the exclamatory triangle of death, but it's gone. See if it starts here. Sounds pretty good, huh? There, it's moved out. Seems to be pretty smooth. Now I gotta get the OBD2 scanner and go for a ride.